Alright, I'm going to be rewriting Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. About time I did this video. Now, I'm basically rewriting a tournament that's already rewritten. Basically. And I'm going to explain why I had to make Tekken 5 and Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection two separate tournaments. Why that was a better idea. The reason why is because many ways may say, well, Home Tech, what you could have done is just take Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, the completed Tekken 5, and then just made a tournament off that. That way Lily would be there and whatnot and everything, right? One of the reasons why I didn't do that is because, for one thing, it's not exactly the same game. The color scheme would have kind of like worked against the character endings. I think that might be probably the biggest reason. It would make sense because, like I said, this is basically a DLC. Dark Resurrection is basically a DLC. It has a different color scheme to it, which doesn't resonate with the actual character endings. That's one reason. And why would you not? And why not have two separate tournaments, a DLC? Do the original Tekken 5 and then do Dark Resurrection as well. So then you'll have two Tekken 5 tournaments. And I don't think Armor King actually competed in the fifth tournament, but he's in a game, so why wouldn't you want to see him? So I'm going to put him in a tournament, right? So yeah, basically what I'm saying is the color scheme kind of is the biggest reason why it wouldn't make sense to just do Tekken, just only build off of Dark Resurrection and just forget about the original Tekken 5. Because first of all, the original Tekken 5 was also better received. Like, I'm pretty sure you'd rather have two different tournaments, you know, back when I was on the playlist of these games, than just have, you know, make Dark Resurrection the end all be all, and just say, oh, just say fuck the original and just do Dark Resurrection. No, I think a lot of people like the original Tekken 5 more than they like Dark Resurrection. So, anyhow, let's go over some of these matches and talk about what's been rewritten. Also, I would like to add before I continue that rewriting Dark Resurrection, which is basically a DLC tournament, doesn't affect the main story. Because the conclusion is still the same as the original Tekken 5, where Jin wins, he defeats Jinpachi. It's just that there's new matches in Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection in that playlist. So yeah, different matches. Some of them are the same, and some also new moves as well that you might have thought debuted in Tekken 6. But really, Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection actually added a lot of new moves for each character. So let's continue. So, like in the original Tekken 5, Kazuya and Heihachi fought in the battle. You know, they fought after the battle of Hamaru and were attacked by Jax, and then Kazuya fled away, leaving his father Heihachi astray. And Heihachi dies, supposedly, allegedly. I ponder if this is the case in Tekken 8 as well. So, there's that, and Kazuya faces Ling Xiaoyu in this match here. Very close match because Kazuya in Tekken 5 was nerfed like hell in the booklet for whatever reason. But still, he beat Sling Yu by timeout because the rankings were too close. Kazuya's barely higher. Of course, in the original Tekken 5, I had Steve versus Sling Yu. So, and we all know Yu dropped out of the tournament like she did with the fourth one as well. So she did win a match in the original Tekken 5 against Steve, who got nerfed as well in the booklet. So, in this case, Sling Yu didn't get to drop out because she lost already to Kazuya. And Kazuya, after this, just like in the original story, in Wiki, Kazuya leaves the tournament to deal with traders in G Corporation and controlling things behind the scenes. Julia needs her old data back to save the world's forest, yada yada yada. So she enters the tournament, and she has a match with Yoshimitsu. And Yoshimitsu, like in the original, gets crushed by Julia. Top tier Julia. Julia advances in the tournament, and Yoshimitsu was having trouble with his sword, so he didn't do so well. Now, in the original Tekken 5, you can check out my original Tekken 5 playlist. Brian and Yoshimitsu had an awesome match with Yoshimitsu coming out on top, winning by timeout. Very good match. Check that out. But, like I said, some of these matches will actually happen again in Dark Resurrection. Some of the matches still are the same. Julia and Yoshimitsu, I had them match up against each other in the original 5th tournament. So, yeah. Let's continue. Anna shares her long rivalry with her sister Nina after a phone call. And once again, I'm rewriting a tournament that's already rewritten. So Anna enters the tournament. And this time I had her against Marduk, but she pretty much got squashed by Marduk. Because Anna's low tier ranking. She's an early unlockable. So I never got to put her up against Nina, because in a realistic tournament, which I'm rewriting, all of them, anybody could face anybody, okay? You're not going to end up, you just so happen to face who you want to fight. That's not realistic, so I had to, I guess it just, Nana and Nina never got them to battle each other. I wanted to, trust me, I did, but yeah. Also, I know this might bother some people, but you know the great cut scene between Anna and Marduk, right? That didn't happen because now if it was Marduk versus Anna, the other way around, yeah, I would have had the famous cut scene. Oh yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. You need to get with me, girl. And then Anna makes her racist Neanderthal comment, and of course Marduk would have squashed her. It still would have been the same result, because Marduk is top tier. He's far higher than Anna on up the pyramid. So Anna's an early unlockable, and Marduk is high up in the book. And then I guess Marduk would have raped her or whatever. But yeah, whatever. Boy, I had Dragunov ranked so high in this tournament because of where he was placed. Now, Dragunov is easily the best new character added to Tekken 5 DLC because he was a great rivalry for Raven. Raven's the black talon of death. Dragunov is the white talon of death. You see where they were going with this, right? More racism. Just kidding. But seriously, Dragunov is ranked very high. Unfortunately, this is the only game to where he was ranked high, but that happens to a lot of debut characters. They start off ranked very good, and then in the booklets back in the day, they would get nerfed in the next game. So, Dragunov was just destroying everybody in this tournament. Christie, for starters, Christie's has a good ranking, so this was a close match, but you also check out this match. This was a good match. You wouldn't expect it to be because Dragunov and Christie sounds like a weird matchup, but yeah, I made it work somehow. But yeah, Christie ain't winning that one. I mean, Dragunov, if you look at my Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection playlist, you'll see Dragunov was just destroying the competition. I mean, he is ranked very high. He's S tier, actually. He's S tier. He was destroying everybody in this tournament. It took Raven to beat him. And we all know I have Raven placed. He's the last guy to get eliminated in the tournament by Double Jin. But Dragunov, he basically dominated this tournament. Alright, a little bit later in the tournament, we got Raven versus Asuka again. Of course, Raven is a spy looking into what's happening in the tournament. And once again, Raven. Like I said, the conclusion is still the same, even though this is a separate tournament, technically. But it's the same conclusion. This was another good match, but of course I changed up the moves too. You know, for content. So I guess what I did with Raven's moves were better in the original Tekken 5, but I wanted to show off everybody's new moves that we're giving to every character in Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. So yeah. Let's just look at some of the new moves real quick. That's new right there. That's new. That's new. And you're going to see Asuka do some new stuff too. I didn't give her that before. That's new. That's the same. That's the same. But a lot of the moves are new. So, yeah. See, a lot of this stuff is new. New moves. Love that. Now, that's the same thing I did in the original Tekken 5 match between these two. Raven goes for his finisher and she hits her signature with her down forward 1+1-2. Yeah, I choreographed these matches and put moves together so it can feel like you're kind of watching a movie, like you're watching a real choreographed match. And this is a beautiful ending coming up. And I did in the original as well. She misses. It was better done in the original Tekken 5, but because the dead end is hard as hell. It's hard as hell to do that move. In Tekken 7, of course, they made it easier with Master Raven, but you gotta do a whole circle to hit that fucking move. Okay, doing a dead end back then with Raven was hard as hell. Anyhow, speaking of Asuka, Feng Wei enters the tournament because he wants power and he kills Asuka's father. And for some reason, Asuka and June are not mentioned in the same sentence. I ponder. I wonder if they're going to change that in Tekken 8. Nope, I bet you they won't. And I got Fang Wei versus Ganru. Good match. I mean, they seem to. But who would kind of care for that? Ganru's not very popular, so. Yeah. Of course, Fang Wei, he's ranked. He's the S tier. He's going to beat Ganru. He's going to dominate the tournament too, just like he did in the original Tekken 5. More new stuff. Fang Wei got quite a few good new moves, so I gave him that. That's a new signature for him. A new raised drive. Some new stuff with Ganru as well. Everybody, I've used new moves with every character. That's new right there. This actually was a good match. I would suggest checking this out. Because Ganru is ranked pretty good. He does have at least he's like low top tier. So, but he's not being Fang Wei. Jinpachi, the resurrected Jinpachi, I should say, sent Wang Jinwei a letter. And Wang enters the tournament. Of course, Wang does not enter the tournament. And just like in the just like in the original Tekken 5 tournament, I didn't have Wang square up with Jin, because like I said, anybody can face anybody. And Wang is not S tier, so he most likely wouldn't get to fight Jin. He lost to Ganru in the original Tekken 5 tournament that I rewritten. And I had him fight Armor King here. And this actually was a good match. Ganru and Wang was a good match in the original Tekken 5. New stuff from Wang. In the Tekken 5, I had, of course, Armor King. Kind of fight like the old Armor King a little bit. Ouch. Yeah, this was a decent match. Nice counter. Now, Wang is ranked pretty well. He's a nice, decent mid-tier ranking, but he's not beating Armor King. Armor King is ranked pretty high. I mean, I didn't get to rank him as high as like King or Marduk though, but close. Close. Either way, Armor King advances. Julia versus Kuma was a good match. So I didn't get to have Julia losing in their original Tekken 5 tournament. But and as you can see, Julia really got. I really had to revamp her moves because she had quite a few good new stuff to add. So I think I end up changing Julia's moves in this game more than probably anybody. This match had a good ending to it. Very close. Both of these are top tier. Look at this beautiful 10 hit. I kept this 10 hit combo. And now Julia's out of the tournament. But thanks to Ganru, Julia still gets what she wants. The data that she's been looking for. It's just that Julia didn't care to marry Ganru. So, yeah, there's that. Alright, in the original, Hwang lost to King. But in the remix... Remix! Hwang loses to Marduk. You know, any match with Hwang is good. Oh yeah, Marduk's another one that got some revamping in this game. Hwang too, got some new stuff. This is when I give him that little splits kick. He's got some new stuff. But anyhow, that's new right there. Unfortunately, Hwang, after Tekken 3, Hwang has not been placed high in the book. Actually, most of the time he's been placed very low. So that's why I couldn't get him to fight Jin again. And he would have lost even if he did. So yeah, I never. Jin has moved on and stayed at the top, where after Tekken 3, Hwang gets nerfed. Hwang had a solid mid tier, though. In this game, Hwang was ranked pretty decent. At least he was a mid tier, and being a mid tier, when it comes to me choreographing these tournaments, that's the perfect spot. That's why him and Martial Law were a good match in this tournament as well. Because if you're mid tier, if you have a mid tier ranking, then you're not going to get squashed, but you're not going to squash anybody at the same time. Like, you're going to give a good match. Because I'm going by how much stronger is the character above you. Like, much like Marduk and Anna. Anna's low tier, so Anna got beaten for 2 rounds. She got squashed. Whereas Hwang put up a fight against Marduk. So yeah, Marduk still advances. But guess who got rid of Marduk and Kane? Guess who wiped out both of them in this tournament? This was a good match right here. This was a decent match. Jack 5 was ranked pretty high up in the booklet for once. Jack is actually ranked good. Jack 5 is solid. Now, he didn't beat Eddie, but man, check out this match. If you're an Eddie fan, even if you don't like Jack 5, this match was good. Jack 5, I gave him some new moves. Eddie and Chrissy as well. I kind of revamped them a little bit. There goes some new stuff that you see in Tekken 6 with Jack. Nice. Yeah, Jack 5 is almost ranked as high as Eddie. Eddie's top tier. Eddie and Chrissy, they actually have the same ranking. So yeah, Eddie wins, as you would expect Eddie, because it's going to beat Jack. Unlike Christy, though, Eddie made it very far in this tournament. Eddie did well, man. I tell you, Eddie pretty much did dominate pretty good in this tournament. So he lasted a lot longer than Chrissy. This is late. Once I started making matches on this stage, this is late into the tournament. The tournament's almost over at this point by the time Eddie fought Jack 5. So yeah, shout out to Eddie. Because looking at Eddie in Tekken 7... Let's not even talk about that. But yeah. Who cares about this nothing match? Mokujan's fun. It's a fun character, but I don't. Yeah. I mean, you already know Raven won because Raven makes it all the way to the end of the tournament. So why even waste time talking about this? See, Mokujan's a great character, but it benefits him to not know whether or not he's going to win when you first watch a match that I do with Mokujan. But yeah, that's just me. This was another good match. Also, you see what I did with the costumes there? Fur versus fur. Furry versus furry. Okay, so anyhow, this was another match that I did in the original Tekken 5 tournament. It's just good to watch it in the remix, the Dark Resurrection, because new moves. So, anyhow, Jin wins just like in the original. and Gen advances. So like I said, some of these matches are the same. Yeah, folks. Like I said before, Dragunov dominated this tournament. He destroyed King and Marduk. This is where Marduk loses the tournament. Now, I didn't get to make Marduk get attacked by Armor King after losing to King, because he didn't lose to King in this tournament. In the original Tekken 5, I had Marduk versus King, and King beat him. But this is the DLC, so different matches, right? So that's the end of Marduk. Yeah, this is basically the Dragunov dominates the tournament, and then until he fights Raven. Rewriting. This is basically what this tournament is. Is Dragunov fucking kills everybody until he faces his rival. Now, I was trying to say is as I was trying to say was I couldn't get Armor King to attack Marduk after losing, but that didn't happen on camera anyway, as written in Wiki, or even in the game. Period. In Tekken 6, it was never on film. It was never recorded because Marduk already lost, and then Armor King showed up and knocked him out. And then King and Marduk wanted to find out who this mysterious guy imitating Armor King was, and we found out, of course, it was Armor King's brother. So yeah, there's that. And this is when it finally happens. And Dragunov does not talk, as you can see. So I got these two fighting against each other, these two rivals. And of course, if you've already seen this match, you already know. Or if you didn't, trust me, this match was awesome. I made sure this match was good. I mean, the entire match was filled with time-ups, basically, timeouts. Because these are very close ranks, and I really wanted to sell the rivalry. You know, while I was choreographing these matches with both controllers, I wanted to make sure this match felt big. I mean, they're just going back and forth. 2 rounds of timeouts. And then at the end, Dragunov just misses and Raven beats him. Raven ends the win streak of the notorious Dragunov. Okay, Dave Meltzer would give this 7 stars, this match. Okay, yeah, Dave would melt his pants to this match, bro. This is one of the best matches I've ever choreographed. And I started over many times to get it right. To get that, especially that ending. That ending had to be on point. That had to look good. Fang versus Raven once again. This is another match that happened in the original Tekken 5. Not sure how many people like that match. It was good, but Raven wins by timeout because these two are ranked too close. So, yeah. So this match goes to Raven, of course. So anyhow, we fast forward to the finale of the tournament, where once again the results end the same, just new matches. It was already going to come down to this happening anyway. As you can see, I kind of changed up the moves like I did with everybody. Double Jin is kind of different. And I honestly like the original Tekken 5 match between these two more. But nonetheless, this was legendary. I like how this match, this stage in Canada, they decided to make it in a winter, and you can see the ice. Like I said, I still like the original better, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who does, but um, and you already know that this is where Raven loses. So Raven makes it all the way to the end until he faces Double Jin. In the last match, of course, because Jin had the double Jin behind him to stay in the tournament, he faces Jinpachi and defeats Jinpachi. And even though you get to see Jinpachi in a different light with a revamped stage, this match was not as legendary. I kind of beat him kind of quickly here. Not that he shouldn't have been beaten quickly, but if you watch the original my original Jin versus Jinpachi match in the original Tekken 5, that match was a lot better. That match was good. I had Jinpachi throw the 10 fireballs and everything. But here I kind of was just trying to get this out of the way. And there's no endings, unfortunately, because this is the remaster. And I didn't want to fuck up the color scheme, issue with Dark Resurrection. So, Jin wins and you just get credits and that's it. No ending. That sucks, but hey, it is what it is. So, that is Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection rewritten. This was a good tournament, and I had a lot of good matches that I've made, that I've choreographed in Dark Resurrection, but I'm not the only one who probably agrees with this, but the original Tekken 5 was just better. It was just better. Not that this wasn't good, but it's just the original Tekken 5, but it just felt grungier. It felt more like Tekken. Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection just feels a little bit too much like Tekken 6 with the smooth gameplay, but kind of boring at times. So, yeah. This is Home Attack. Peace out.